Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for our career chat on interviewing strategies. Career development is located in the Keys Library and Learning Commons. Our email and phone number are listed here on this slide, and our website is also listed here too. We have a lot of great resources available on our website. Career development is staffed by Nick Schaefer, Director of Career Development, and myself, Casey Helferty, Associate Director of Career Development. Today, we're going to go over some of the services and resources provided by Career Development, and then we're going to get into some interviewing tips and strategies. If you have any questions at any point during the chat tonight, you can pop them right into the chat box, and I will get to them as soon as I see them. So Career Development offers resume and cover letter assistance to students and alumni. We help with internship and job searching. We also help students and alum prepare for graduate school. We also offer mock interviews and different interviewing strategies. And throughout the year, we put on job fairs, workshops, and events on campus, virtually, and in conjunction with other universities in the area. Some of our online resources are listed here, including our website, which I mentioned earlier, Handshake, which is our job and internship posting platform, Big Interview, which is our interviewing practice platform. We're also on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So interviewing during the pandemic and going beyond that. Virtual interviews have been extremely popular and very useful during this time, and they're going to continue to stay that way. You may also find that you're asked more questions in an interview about technology or remote work, your flexibility, or an independent working style. These are all a couple things that we've heard employers are asking more about, so it's important to be prepared to answer. Before an interview, it's important to take some time to research the organization or the specific department you're applying to be a part of. This will help you be able to ask questions to the interviewers and be able to show a good understanding of the organization or the specific department and role that you're applying for. Prepare questions to ask the interviews, and having done some research, this is really helpful to be able to ask questions that show an in-depth understanding of the job, what you're coming into. Make sure you take some time to prepare your materials for the interview, including copies of your resume if it's an in-person interview, having your reference list with contact information, a professional padfolio with pen and paper. These are available at the Gwynedd Mercy bookstore as well as online. And if you have any relevant certifications, materials or portfolio. For example, teachers, nurses, you'll have your license. Coders, web designs, you may find that having a portfolio of sample work can be really helpful to show in an interview. In a virtual setup, there are some unique things to consider. For a phone interview, make sure if you're doing it on a cell phone that it's fully charged, that your ring is turned up. Also, make sure that your voice message is professional. You want to make sure that if you're being called for an interview and it goes to voicemail, or you're being called to schedule an interview, that the message that is being listened to is professional, it's clear. Make sure that you're taking your interview in a quiet spot and answer with a clear greeting. Instead of just saying, hi, just say, hello, this is Casey. That way your interviewer knows exactly who they're talking to, and it just skips some of the kind of awkward fumbling in the beginning of an interview. For a video interview, make sure that your screen name is professional for Skype or Zoom. Things like having your name or your pronouns are completely acceptable. Make sure you take some time to test the surroundings that you'd be doing the interview in, making sure there's nothing in the background that would be distracting. Take time to check your microphone or webcam beforehand. making sure that you've done some practice with the platform that you'll be using to interview on. Dress professionally for a virtual video interview, and make sure that you're in a quiet place. For an in-person interview, take some time to know where you're going and how you'll get there, whether that's driving, taking public transportation, and making sure that you are ready and know exactly where you're going. That'll take a lot of nerves out of the day of the interview. Make sure you're dressed professionally, and we'll touch a little bit more on dress for an interview in a few slides. Arrive a little bit early. This will help you make sure you know exactly where you're going. You won't need to be rushing, running about. Make sure that you're friendly to everyone the moment you get to your interview site, from the custodian to the receptionist. It's important to be kind and friendly to everyone you may meet. And take some time to relax and breathe, whether that's listening to some music that really relaxes you or gets you pumped up, and taking some time to do some deep breaths before going in for your interview. What to wear for an interview. So when in doubt, we recommend that you dress more conservatively. A neutral, dark colored suit, some great colors, black, navy, or gray. The dress shirt or the shell underneath should be in a muted color or pattern. Some pretty common ones, you see a lot of light blues, whites, grays. Make sure that your shoes are comfortable but professional. If you're wearing more like an Oxford type of shoe, make sure that your socks are matching the shoes and that you're able to walk around in them. You may be doing a lot of walking in your interview. You may be standing, giving a presentation. You want to make sure that you're comfortable and you're not feeling, moving from foot to foot, having that kind of nervous, awkward energy. Make sure your hair is styled away from your face, and keep scents and jewelry to a minimum. With this, make sure that you know the industry that you're applying for. Some industries are going to be more conservative and expect a higher level of dress, like finance or accounting. But if you're applying for a more creative field, you can kind of play around a little bit with the colors that you may use. You could have one kind of accessory that helps pop out. When interviewing, your personality matters. This means having a great enthusiasm and tone. You want to make sure that you're coming across as enthusiastic, friendly, and approachable. And it's really key that you use examples during your answers. Some common questions you may come across when interviewing are questions about your background, such as tell me about yourself. Questions about your education and goals. Why did you choose Gwynedd? Why did you choose this major? What do you want to do with your degree? Questions that are behavioral based are ones that demonstrate a trait or a skill. And these are ones that will be really key in helping to show the skills that you've gained through your classwork, through internships, and being able to show an employer that you have the skills that they're looking for. When you're behavioral interviewing, you want to show that your past behavior and past events will reflect a future behavior or future event. So tell a story, use your examples. A way to use examples and a way to make sure that you're framing your question out is called the TSAR method. So you'll start out your answer by describing the situation. So you're going to talk about what happened and what needed to be done. The action is going to be the bulk of your answer. This is where you're going to describe your role in the situation and what action did you take. To conclude your answer, you're going to share the result. How did you work out? And what did you learn from this experience? This is a way that you can often spin a situation that may not have gone the way that you wanted it to, but be able to share what you learned from it and how you might do something differently. So here's an example of a question. Tell me about a time when you exhibited teamwork. So this student would answer, last semester I completed the Emergent Leadership Program for the Griffin Student Leadership Institute. We had to work in groups of 4 to create a presentation. We met together to discuss what direction we wanted to go in and just divide up the work. Then they talk about what they were responsible for and also helping to edit the entire presentation. They wrap up their question answer with, "We all worked well together and received very positive feedback from our professor and classmates." And it's really able to tie together the question. After your interview, you'll want to send a thank you note to the interviewer or the interviewers. Email is definitely the best way to do it. Previously, sending a handwritten note in the mail has been the way to go, but email is the fastest way to do it. You'll want to send it within 24 to 48 hours of your interview. In this thank you note, share appreciation for the opportunity, talk a little bit about what you can bring to the organization, or highlight something that you discussed in your interview, and express excitement for the position. Take some time after that to reflect on your experience. Is this an interview situation that went well and it's a position you want to continue pursuing? Or is it something that maybe you want to reevaluate and go in a different direction? That's totally okay. Keep applying though after you have this interview. You don't want to think that you've gotten the job, so it's always good to keep applying. If after the time that they said that they would get back to you, you don't hear back, that's pretty normal. Hiring normally takes much longer than anticipated. But you can touch base with the contact person you have and see what their status is. So I'm happy to take any questions now. If you are in need of any career development assistance, you can email us and set up a Zoom appointment. You can also call our phone number here, and our online resources are listed again at the bottom.